Hi, it's Heather from Dollar Store Crafts, and I am here in my garden, and I was just thinking there are some plants that I have that I really don't like. So I thought I would take you on a tour of the plants in my garden that I hate. The number one least liked plant in my yard has to be this eucalyptus tree. It is weird. It has a really long trunk. It's like 5 feet long, and then it just has like these branches that go up. They touch this wire. It also, I didn't know this when we planted it, but it also discourages other plants from growing. So here's a bare root grape down there that I planted next to it. It has not sprouted. I don't know if it's ever going to come back or not. I think why I initially wanted it was I like eucalyptus trees from my time when I lived in Santa Cruz, California, because there's big groves of eucalyptus there. However, they're a different kind of eucalyptus. They don't have round leaves like this. They have kind of like long spiky leaves. And I guess I was dreaming of that when I got this. And I just have not liked this since the first year we got it. It's been here for 3 or 4 years. And I don't know if it's too late, but I would love to move it, take it out of this part of our yard and move it to outside of our fence on the Hell Strip, or that strip next to the street where you park. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for with this. I don't know if I'll ever love it, but I do know that you can kind of abuse eucalyptus. Like you can chop it off all the way down at the bottom of the trunk and it'll come back. So I'm going to do that, and move it, but not do both at the same time, because probably two hugely stressful things to a tree isn't cool. So I'm not sure if I'm going to move it first and then chop it later, like 6 months later, or if I'll chop it and then try to move it. Probably be easier to chop it first and then move it later. In this lighting, it looks kind of pretty, but I don't really like it. The second plant that I don't really like is this dark-leafed hydrangea. This is the 3rd year that we've had this plant. It is bigger than it used to be, but it looks really, really sad this year, and I'm sure that's my fault. I think I have a suspicion that this section of the garden along this back fence is under a big Doug fir tree, so it might have some kind of, the tree might be sending out messages that other plants shouldn't grow there, at least plants that aren't compatible with it. And I think that this patch is not very high quality soil. So this plant just looks bad. It's spindly. It doesn't have very many leaves. It really needs to be trimmed back so that it bushes out more next year. And I think that we probably really need to amend the soil. So I don't love it. It also droops really easily, like it needs more water than a lot of the plants around it need. So it just kind of looks bad most of the time. But one thing I do like about it, even though it gets droopy quickly, is I think of it as a canary plant, in that it's like the canary in the coal mine of water. So it gets droopy before everything else. So I know that if it's droopy, the plants probably need to be watered. So it's kind of like the indicator to me that I need to water this section of the garden. Anyway, we got it because we wanted this area to be like the goth garden, like dark plants. So we have like a couple of darker plants, but it just didn't really work that well. So this is one thing I need to learn. I need to figure out how to trim it, how to trim it back, and the best ways to do that. So that's something I'm going to be looking up. I'm not looking to do it in the middle of the summer. I'll probably be doing it in the fall, but that's something I need to do. And then I might, when I trim it, I might try to propagate it too, even though I just said I hate it. When it's looking healthy and happy, it's really pretty, but right now it's just looking kind of sad. Now, why would I have plants in my garden that I hate? It's partially due to my FAFO, Funk Around and Find Out garden, and kind of the chaotic approach that we take to gardening. And that is there's not really a huge overarching plan, and we kind of just impulse buy plants sometimes. Sometimes we see stuff online or like a video or something that someone makes and we're like, oh, that one looks cool. Sometimes we just have a preconceived notion of a plant and we're like, oh, I'd love to have that in my garden for some reason. So there's lots of factors about how plants end up in our yard. And then there are some major reasons why some of them don't work. Our yard is not ideal for all plants. Just like every yard has its own pros and cons. Our yard is covered with shade from 1, 2, and there's a couple more giant Douglas fir trees. And so that means that we only have sporadic sun, so partial sun, so it's kind of hard to get some things to grow. So that's its own little challenge. Number 3 plant that I don't love is this Escallonia. It is a bush and it has pink flowers on it. Here's what it's supposed to look like. And it was an impulse buy. It was on sale one fall for cheap and I just impulsively bought it. And the reason that I don't love it is it doesn't really do anything. Like, it's pretty with a few flowers, but I like plants that you can eat or they smell good, or I don't know, it just isn't really that fun and it takes up a lot of space. And it looks like I need to prune it also. It's just kind of growing weirdly. So in the fall I'll probably be trimming this one back quite a bit. It is in the area next to the dark hydrangea, where it probably needs a good amount of fertilizer and soil amendments. But yeah, it definitely needs some work. I feel guilty for how bad this plant looks. It is a Hakuro Nishiki willow, or like a dappled willow. And you can kind of see some little leaves on it. But it is sad. It is like bare. Doesn't have any leaves. It barely got any leaves this year. It just looks so sad, and it's kind of cheating to say I hate it. I don't really hate it. I just feel really bad that it is that sad. So this is in the section of the yard that isn't very good soil. I think it just needs some TLC and I don't know what to do for it. So this is a plant I need to research and figure out how to help it. Now this little guy is a huckleberry bush, which is, I think, related to blueberry. And it has been here for at least 2 years and it is still tiny. It's like 16 inches tall. It's never had any berries. It just has never really flourished in this spot. And again, right against the fence, I believe, is kind of a just undernourished section of soil, so I'm sure we need to amend the soil there. But so far I haven't seen a single berry, and I do like the foliage, it's pretty, but it just hasn't really taken off. And so I don't hate it, and I actually feel bad saying I hate any plants right next to them. I hope they can't understand English, but it's just never been a super favorite because it hasn't really taken off. Next is this blue moon wisteria, and the reason that I hate it is because I didn't know until after we bought it that it is an invasive plant, or considered an invasive plant. And if it stays in this garden, in this section, I can plan on it destroying our fence and just kind of being aggressively vining. So it's only been here for about a year, and I've been waffling, but I think I want to take it out. I don't know. I have such, like, it's not even mixed feelings. Like, I don't like it. I don't want invasive plants in my yard. I don't want anything that's destructive. But I also wonder, like, why are these garden centers selling things that shouldn't be planted in the ground and, like, can just destroy things? I know the answer for wisteria is because in the spring when it has flowers, it's really pretty. They're hanging and they drape all over everything. But anyway, I just don't love this one. I feel weird about it. I kind of want it to go away. If we move it and replant it, it would probably be planted on the other side of this fence, which is like this section on the outside is chain link. So it could maybe grow onto the chain link and that wouldn't destroy the chain link. So that's an option because it would make the outside of the fence look better. Next up, we have this artichoke plant. Now, it's kind of unfair because I want to say that my partner bought this on the sly and planted it himself, and I had no input on it, so it's not something that I would have chosen. Also, I'm very confused because he doesn't like to eat artichokes, so I don't know why he bought it. This is its second year and it's still tiny, so I think it's going to take a couple more years for it to get big. And then once it does, it's going to take over this box. I don't know. I'm just confused about it. I don't love it. I just let it roll there and let it keep growing, but I don't really like it. Okay, these two plants they say they're raspberries, but they're not. They just got repotted into these plants. These were impulse buys at our local kind of permaculture, edible, vegetable grower. They're called One Green World, and they grow a ton of really cool plants. But they had a garage sale this year, and these were $3 each. So we kind of impulse bought them. And now I kind of regret it because they're flying dragon citrus, which sounds cool. But drawbacks are, and I've watched some other YouTube videos about these and since discovered and figured this out. Drawbacks are they have these spikes that are really spiky. They are kind of hard to manage once they grow bigger, and they do grow citrus fruit, but it doesn't taste good. So they're kind of like a novelty plant, I guess, and I don't want to plant them in the ground because I'm afraid they'll just turn into big sticker bushes. So for that reason, I don't love them, and I'm kind of afraid of them, honestly. So right now they're just in pots, and I can manage, I can deal with them that way, but I don't love them. Okay, this one's cheating because it has not been planted here. It is a blackberry. It's coming through the fence. It's actually broken the fence. A Himalayan blackberry. We have these volunteers all over our yard. They spring up everywhere. There were some down here that I clipped. I have not done a good job of managing them. I just clip them back when they grow. There's one here. Pretty sure there's some coming up in our veggie patch. There's a baby right there. Needs to get pulled out. Here's another baby. I don't know why we haven't pulled it out. They're coming up other places as well. So I would say I hate these plants too. I mean, they do grow berries if you let them grow, but they are horribly invasive, super scratchy, and they're all over the place in Oregon. If you live here, you know. It's great in August when the berries are ripe, but they cover so much of the land here. It's wild. So I don't love that guy. Himalayan blackberry. Finally, we have the fig trees. I am sure this is a controversial take. I don't really like them that much. And they don't grow figs. I think it's because our yard doesn't get enough sun. But they haven't grown a single fig yet. I mean, it's only year 2, so I know fruit trees take a few years, but so far, I'm not loving them. I don't love them. They grow weird. I don't really know what to do with them. I'm gonna learn about pruning these too. I think they kind of just get cut all the way back at the end of the year. I'm not sure. I'll learn that eventually, but they're just weird. I don't love them, but maybe I will learn to love them eventually. So as you can see, every plant in your garden is not going to be a winner. They're not all going to be your favorite. Some of them are naturally going to fall down to the icky list. And these are some of the ones in my garden that I don't love. Some of them I will get rid of. Some of them I will move. And some of them I don't know, they might just stay in pots until I figure out what to do with them. Later, I'll show you plants I love in my garden, but today, these are the plants that I hate.